I can hear truck engines. Yes, here they come. Out to the grid. Paul Rivett will be on pole. Tom O'Rourke alongside him. Second row, Michael Oliver and David Jenkins. Yes, Michael Oliver is out there. He's repaired. David Jenkins alongside him. Should be John Bowler and Stuart Oliver on row 3. John Bowler is not there, as we expected with that damage from earlier on. Then Ryan Smith and Stephen Powell on row 4. Yeah, there's Stephen Powell a little bit further back. Row 5, Neil Yates and John Powell. And the 6th row, Simon Cole and David Smith. Yeah, looks like we are just missing John Bowler. Needs to head to Trucker Line in London. That was the great George Allen's business. Long-time British and European truck racer. Trucker Line crash repairs, realigning the chassis. I think his son still runs that business in London, so the name's still out there. It's George and Les Allen, I believe, were the two brothers who used to compete in the big Volvo Whites, alongside Slim Borgard in a similar truck. One of George Allen's trucks. Who was it who took over his Volvo White? Mark Viner went on to race that truck in the late 80s. Last Volvo White we saw out was Brian Burt. His pink and white machine, the man from Bristol. He rolled that truck at Thruxton. Of course, the most successful in a Volvo White, the Swedish/American collaborated truck, was the late great Slim Borgard. Apologies for the nostalgia trip. You know I can't help it. As my father worked on most of those trucks back in the day when he worked for Lucas, fitting and calibrating the speed governors, it was inevitable I get hooked on truck racing. Thank you, John. I hope you're watching today. So Paul Rivett will be on the pole then. We've got the GT Tyres pace truck out there this time. Paul Rivett, can he take a second overall win? It's the third time he's been on the front row this weekend. Made a poor start this morning and dropped back. Held on in the wet in front, the rain proving a great lever. It's not, I would say, not quite as wet out there for this one. Could we see a first win for Tom O'Rourke's new truck? Had a win at Donington a couple of years ago. On the grid there is David Jenkins. Always there or thereabouts this weekend. Could we see him pick up his first win of the season? Michael Oliver, they've done well to repair that truck. Team Oliver Racing. Battered and bruised, as he always seems to be at Brands Hatch. I said earlier, poor old Michael Oliver always seems to get into scrapes at this circuit. Our cameraman standing, I think, in the gap where John Bowler's truck should have been. And there's Ryan Smith going from 7th. Finishing a lap down earlier on in race 4. Very rare event indeed, seeing Ryan Smith lapped after his off. Stephen Powell alongside, the winner of race 3. He won Division 1 in race 4 as well. And the race was stopped early. He was ahead of Stuart Oliver on the last completed lap, after they both had a few off-road excursions. There is Flying Ryan, just getting strapped in. In the north side truck and van Daimler Freightliner, the man from Mansfield. Alan Hyde and Matt Suckling in the background on the PA at Brands Hatch this weekend. Sometimes see Matt doing bit of interviewing work on our live streams. So the grid being cleared, ready for our final truck race of the weekend. With the conditions and with the reverse grid, I've got no idea which way this one's going to go. David Smith at the back of the field. In race 3 where he failed to start, so has to start at the tail this time. Ryan Smith with a bit of space in front of him with John Bowler absent. So here we go then. For the final time this weekend, the trucks are off and rolling. Can Paul Rivett make it 2 overall wins for a Division 2 truck? I'll have to look up the exact date of when a Division 2 truck last beat the Division 1s overall. It's a stunning international, the bonneted truck of Tom O'Rourke, the MV Commercials boss on the outside of the front row. Discovered truck racing almost by chance. Started off as a sponsor. MV Commercial brought a stand to the Convoy weekend at Donington Park. Then became a sponsor of a couple of drivers, ended up sponsoring the British Championship for a time, and then Tom decided to have a go at racing for himself. He's had 1 win in his career, if I remember rightly. That was at Donington Park a few years ago. Hopefully we'll see our other Scotsman, Jock Borthwick, make a comeback later this season as well. Tom O'Rourke snapping sideways there. Don't want to spin it on the rolling lap. Race truck into... not into pit lane this time. No, we're going to go round for a second time given the conditions. Quickening a little. I think 1 or 2 drivers are expecting the race to start that time. Must keep their formation 2 by 2. You have to keep the grid slots. Ryan Smith has to keep that gap in front of him where John Bowler should have been. Can Paul Rivett take a 2nd overall win in a run? He's on for a clean sweep of 5 out of 5 in Division 2. 2 each in Division 1 for Ryan Smith and Stephen Powell. He's been one of the stars of the weekend. Steve Powell on his local circuit. Certainly be celebrations at the Portobello Inn, the Powell family's pub just down the road from Brands this evening. Here we go then. Ready for a start this time. Eleven trucks out there for 15 minutes of racing. The final race of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. Can the Division 2 champion Paul Rivett hang on in front from pole position? Can Ryan Smith get back to winning ways? Will it be a 3rd win for Stephen Powell, or will we see a new name on top here at Brands Hatch? Keep it steady up towards the red light. The pace already quickening towards the back. Still very greasy out there, although the sun is out. Waiting for the red lights to go out. Here we go, the power comes on, we're underway. David Jenkins leaning on Michael Oliver a bit as they head down towards the first corner. Oliver gives him room. Now who's going to get the lead? Looks like Tom O'Rourke is going to make the best start around the outside in the International. He's got the lead as they head out of Paddock for the first time and up Halewood Hill. Paul Rivett in second place. Jenkins is third. Ryan Smith trying to force his way up the inside into Druids, but it's O'Rourke who's got the lead. Side by side for second between Jenkins and Rivett, then Stuart Oliver, Ryan Smith, Michael Oliver. John Powell's got away well. He's running well in the wet. Stephen Powell gets hung out to dry around the outside. He won't be drying in these conditions, though. David Jenkins has come through to second. Side by side for third. Paul Rivett caught up on the curb on the inside there, so Stuart Oliver will go through into P3. Here comes Ryan Smith. He's got a good getaway there. Able to use that little bit of extra space that we pointed out on the inside. David Jenkins, meanwhile, has taken the lead in the 69 truck. The man from Stafford has the advantage ahead of Tom O'Rourke. Paul Rivett dropping back, but he's not scoring points in the same championship as the drivers around him. He needs to stay ahead of John Powell, though. That's the battle in Division 2. So Paul Rivett gets shuffled backwards. They complete the first lap then. David Jenkins leads from O'Rourke in second. Stuart Oliver is third. Ryan Smith in fourth position. Paul Rivett down to fifth overall, but still leads Division 2. Over the line they go. Neil Yates and David Smith towards the back. Simon Cole at the tail of the field. It's David Jenkins looking for his first win of the season. It took him some time to get that first win of the season last year as Stuart Oliver forces his way up the inside for second place at Druids past Tom O'Rourke. Paul Rivett and Ryan Smith in trouble. Smith slowing there. There's something wrong with the number one. Now, was there contact or, well, there's a fair bit of steam there, whether that's steam or smoke, but there's something amiss for Ryan Smith. He's very slowly down there. I thought he'd just been pushed out wide. His windscreen looks steamed up there as well. Is he struggling to see where he's going? I hope he does get out of the way because he can't stop there in the middle of the Cooper Straight. Oh, Tom O'Rourke, a bit of power slide there, he's gone. Round goes the 86, just avoids the tyre wall, he's into the gravel. That's his third spin of the weekend, unfortunately. Meanwhile, there is David Smith, who just got past, I think that's Neil Yates in the 33. Now, where is Ryan Smith? Has he got the truck out of the way? Meanwhile, Jenkins leads from Oliver. Rivett is now third because we've lost O'Rourke. Michael Oliver up the inside past John Powell. Then we've got Stephen Powell, a quieter start to the race for him this time. Now, Tom O'Rourke, if he's beached in the gravel, we may see a full course yellow. Saw one yesterday after O'Rourke went off at Paddock. He's been exploring the limits of that truck, really, over the course this weekend. Ryan Smith, I can tell you, has got into the pits. That's the end of his race. Problem for the number one. Now, has Tom O'Rourke been able to rejoin? We'll see as they come off Clearways and down into the pit straights. He was lucky not to clout the tyre barrier there, and the yellow is out, so he's still there. The yellow is out. We have a virtual safety truck, effectively. So the full course yellow is out. There's no safety truck physically out there. It is a virtual safety period. The full course yellow is out, so David Jenkins will slow the field down, and they will try and get Tom O'Rourke out of the gravel. Saw this in race 2 yesterday. Now, when the race resumes, the officials can add up to 3 minutes onto the end of the race time. It's a bit like in British touring cars. When they have a safety car period, laps can be added on at the end of the race. So we get the full racing distance. And it's, in terms of time, up to 3 minutes can be added on to the race if we have a full course yellow, as we saw yesterday. I've just looked in the background. Ryan Smith is heading back out of the pits. So the team have attended to the problem. And he's going again. Here he comes. I'm not sure what the problem was. Perhaps Ian or Pointy could find out there. Maybe it was his windscreen. Maybe he just couldn't see where he was going. He's going to catch up to the field. This yellow giving him the chance to catch up. And in fact, the reds are coming out. We have a red flag. presumably because of the position of Tom O'Rourke's truck. They've had to bring the red flags out. They can't recover it safely under yellow. And the truck's being brought to a stop. As you can't safely get a recovery vehicle across the Brabham Straits and onto the gravel trap to get Tom O'Rourke's truck out from there. So they've had to bring things to a halt. And we'll await news on a restart. There's the reason. It's been a tough weekend for the Scotsman. Just put the power down a little bit too hard there coming out of Clark. The back end broke away and round he went. Stopped a few inches short of the tyre wall. But it's in a position where it's tricky to get a recovery vehicle on while the trucks are still in motion, so the red flag has had to come out. Oh, here comes the Peterbilt. Stunning looking beast, isn't it, that American truck? I certainly wouldn't get in his way on the M25, that's for sure. Especially with an air horn like that. Oh, we've got the second recovery vehicle in as well, the 3-axle DAF from LJ Nationwide as well. And Steve Bewers in the pickup truck directing operations. Okay, which one of you wants to pluck Tom O'Rourke's truck out of the gravel? At least the tyre wall didn't get damaged. Peterbilt has driven on, so it looks like they're going to use the DAF. Okay, so let's take a look at the recovery operation while we have a moment. Then the tow rope has been attached, or the towing strap. And then Jason Farnell, who's at the wheel of the LJ Transportation DAF 3-axle. 13-litre, 530 horsepower diesel engine in that machine. Lowers the crane. Got two 23-ton winches on that DAF. Peterbilt turns it round. It'd be great if these two could have a drag race down the straight. Just as I said that, I had flashbacks of the wheelie truck here back in the late 80s, early 90s. We all know we've all seen the clip of what happened then. So the towing strap is attached. I hope you're all enjoying the action so far. We've currently up to 865 likes on our YouTube stream. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 by the end of the show. Can we get to 1,000 likes, everyone? Who's commented, let's have a tug of war between the two recovery trucks? No, drag race is what we need. Oh, we've got the sweeper in as well now. Okay, so the strap in place then, and about to give Tom O'Rourke's International Navistar the old heave-ho out of the gravel. Goodsy Hero says maybe tractor pulling with the truck as the weight. Kathleen Lewis says, what happened to Brad Smith? Not sure, we haven't heard any news on what his plans are this year. And thank you everyone, we have already got our 1,000 likes, that was quick. Thank you all. It was very quick indeed. Those of you asking for an update on our junior saloon car drivers, our pit reporter Ian is going to go and ask for any information from the medics, and we'll bring you any info when we get it. So the 86 truck has been dragged slowly forwards. Last thing we want is it digging deeper down into the gravel. Strap on the back of the big DAF there. And once he's out, he should be able to drive it away. No damage to the 86. Well, I've just heard from our pit reporter Ian Waterhouse that Jude Cooper and Kyle Wells have been released from the medical centre and appear to be okay, which is great news after that accident earlier on in their second race. So Kyle Wells and Jude Cooper, thankfully no injuries there after what was quite a nasty accident earlier on. Thank you again to everybody for your likes on the stream. It does help us to spread our content. We've got over 1,100 likes now. Steve B says, can I have a shout out? Enjoying the truck racing while suffering from flu. Get well soon, Steve. And the time has gone to 10 minutes, so we will have a 10-minute restart once the track is clear. That's confirmed by the timekeepers. Okay, so we are in position now to get the truck out of the gravel. I think what they want is to get the sweeper as close as possible so that as little gravel as possible is swept onto the track when Tom O'Rourke's truck is pulled away. Lee Curry has commented, says, shout out to the track attack boys, should be on the grid myself, but couldn't make it. I'll hopefully see you out later in the season, Lee. Kevin asked, why aren't Taylor's Transport here this year? That's Mark Taylor. I believe Mark is contesting the European Truck Racing Championship this year. We might see him back for Donington in August. And Jack says, credit to everyone today keeping things running despite the stoppages. Yes, well said indeed. It's been a very well-drilled team. Seems to be a bit of a struggle getting Tom O'Rourke's truck recovered there. To Michael Timberlake, watching from Portugal. Hello to Scott Bugner as well. Should have been racing yesterday. Had some problems in qualifying with his MGZR. Didn't make it out. See you back out soon, Scott. Hello to Ian McCall, Sally Buckhurst, Phil Green, all our other commenters, and thank you for all your likes as well. I think we can hand down to Pointy down in pit lane, see what he's got for us.
And I says to him, I don't matter how much you push it, it's not going to fit. You know, you ever been in that situation?
No comment. With lubricant or without?
Well, I mean, it depends. Some people put their pistons in different ways, don't they?
They do, yeah.
So here we are down on the pit lane with Andrew Fulcher, team manager of the very successful Team Napa Racing. Paul Rivette being the driver, of course, again. And it's been 4 out of 4 for Paul this weekend, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not tempting fate on this one. 4 out of 4 though. Do you know, last year, wasn't it? Twice, I think. Every time we spoke, it was always about brands at the beginning of the season and what a bad start we had, whatever. I mean, I'm liking this one. Can we talk about brands every time we meet?
Yes,
now?
yes, let's do that. Yeah, we're going to talk about what a fantastic start he's had. I mean, let's look at the competition. I mean, there's only obviously 2 other drivers in that division, but of course that kind of means that any mistakes are going to be pretty much instant, aren't they? I mean, obviously small incident with John earlier on in the weekend. He's going to be out for blood the rest of the season now, by all rights, most likely. I mean, that's racing, isn't it? It wouldn't matter which 2 drivers are on that track. When something like that comes together, that's it. You know, cards marked.
Look, there's strong competition. There might only be the 3 of us. It's real strong competition with John and Simon, and we're all going to be vying for it, whatever. And you can guarantee that we're going to have a good weekend. Somebody's going to have a bad weekend, etc. That's going to happen throughout the season.
But that's racing, isn't it?
That's racing, and again, it's just as we said. Probably again, I always repeat myself, I think, but it's what we said last year. Just look at all we can do is
always
do what
last year.
Yeah, always last year. Did I?
You said this last year.
Yeah,
brands last year.
but you can, you know, the thing is just to concentrate on what you're doing, etc. Again, where that's just what we want to do and keep it.
And what you're doing, obviously, is doing very well, and that's what it's all about. I mean, without wanting to tempt fate, obviously, yeah. Let's talk about brands last year. We've got fantastic improvements in reliability. You've had, you haven't had major issues. There's always time. There's always time for any truck in the paddock to have major issues. But of course, I feel like you were a lot more comfortable than you were for most of last year. Really, I think almost you were expecting it or waiting for it to happen again, weren't you, in a way?
I mean, last year again, starting on that back foot, it was just a different thing all the way through the season. It was just about trying to claw it back, and just what have you. This year, will it be different? We've just got to keep the same mentality or what have you, and just do what we do and make sure we just keep going and what have you, and just try and have the best weekend we can for Napa Racing UK, Taco Sis, all of the sponsors, Valvoline. We just need to give them the best weekend we can every time we go out.
Well, that's fantastic. Keep doing a good job. We've got Truck 86 now. Thanks, Andrew. I'll speak to you very soon. Truck 86 coming in now. Let's go and have a little close-up if we can. Tom O'Rourke, we won't get too involved, but you can see here quite a bit of mud from that gravel, very deep in, but no major damage from what we can see. Scrutineers and team members obviously having a look over the truck now. A little bit of damage to this side panel here, possibly when the impact of the gravel dug in quite deep. Fantastic job from the recovery team, of course, Trackside Recovery, here with us this weekend at Brands Hatch, getting things underway quite quickly. And we are eating away at the track time now. A quick removal of some gravel. The engine certainly seems to still be working, as you can probably hear in the background. All seems to be working quite well. A slight collection from some more gravel. I hope they don't weigh the truck after the race. Might be an extra couple of kilos knocking about here and there. But we have the lovely blue tractor there on the gravel now, flattening off the gravel bank onto the track there. The road sweeper's been across to make sure the tarmac's okay. So fingers crossed we should be underway pretty soon. Of course, we look out onto the grid straight. We've got the pace truck back out now, waiting for a regrid, I would assume, with the marshals in position, ready to get them lined up. Will it be a regrid of the initial start, or will it be a regrid of how it ended before that red flag? Only time will tell, but yes, we do have the trucks coming round now, so we'll find out where things are going to land and whether or not we're allowed to get past the fence onto the tarmac. The old reliable Ford tractor there, racing away, escaping from the onslaught of British racing trucks crawling up behind it. It makes it past the pace truck just in time. The Ford tractor is safe, ladies and gentlemen, it's okay. Right then, what are we looking at now then? Pulling up Dave Jenkins in the first place. Next to him we've obviously got Stuart Oliver, son Michael behind him. Next to that, the number 22, Paul Rivette. So it looks like we're going as they called the red flag. So have we got access? Let's go. The gates are open. Bear in mind, not much at all is allowed to be done to the trucks whilst they're under race conditions. But all of the mechanics like to have a little wander around them anyway, you know, just fiddle a few screws, just do the whole, you know, oh, like the tyres okay, yeah, the bumper's still on, yeah, look, that's yellow, that bit, yeah, wonderful. Oh yeah, see, look at him. Oh yeah, that one, yes, that one's still a race truck as well. Let's have a look at that race truck. We all okay? Is it still a race truck, is it? Yeah, it's still a race truck, brilliant. We've checked, it's still a race truck, look. And just like that, they're off again. Tightening a bolt by the looks of it. The linkage is on the back, of course, for the stiffness of suspension, which is pretty much the only thing you can do with the trucks, as I was talking about earlier on with someone in the media centre, of getting them ready for a bit of wet, which the track obviously still is. Simon Cole, how are we? We've not had a chance to speak to you much this week. I'm so sorry, but how's the girl feeling?
Yeah, getting there, mate. Bit down on power, but next round we'll be all right. We'll be all right.
Fantastic, but just no major issues. That's the main thing. We've got a full weekend out here, and that's what counts.
Yeah, it's only the driver, but the truck's all right. All good.
Simon Cole, perfect little chat there. And as you hear the whistles going, we're back through the gate. That's all we've got time for. Back up to Dave in the studio. Dave, are you ready?
I'm always ready, Pointy, don't you worry about that. Good to hear from Andrew Fulcher there as well, the team manager for the number 22 team. His daughter Hannah's been talking in our comments thread today. Andrew, a former truck racer himself, used to compete in Division 2 in the Lenham storage truck a few years ago, and also competed in car racing with an Alfa Romeo for a time as well. I remember seeing that car at the Autosport show a few years back. Well, the trucks have been assembled into the order that they were in when the race was stopped, and it will be a 10-minute restart. Thank you for your patience there while the recovery took place and the grid was reformed. It's David Jenkins on pole with Stuart Oliver alongside, and Ryan Smith, after that pit stop, starts right at the back. This is going to be interesting, to say the least. There he is. Now, Ryan Smith, after a mishap, he's usually fired up and angry. Yeah, you can see him throwing the truck around there as he gets underway. He's going to be on it right from the off. Jenkins and Oliver lead them round. Paul Rivette on the second row, along with Michael Oliver. John Powell's well up on the third row, with Stephen Powell alongside. Then it's David Smith. Simon Cole, Neil Yates and Ryan Smith at the back. No Tom O'Rourke, of course. That truck, Pointy said, had a bit of mud on it. It looked like it had been competing in the Dakar Rally. Hit the pressure washers out. down to 10 trucks for 10 minutes of racing. Can Ryan Smith make it through from P10 on the grid? Will we see a first win of the season for David Jenkins or for Stuart Oliver? Can Paul Rivett do it again and put one over the Division 2, the Division 1 boys again? There's Flying Ryan. He and Stephen Powell on 2 each in Division 1, 2 wins apiece. Paul Rivett going for 5 out of 5 in Division 2. Pace Truck pulls into pit lane. Final race of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship here on season opening weekend at Brands Hatch. David Jenkins and Stuart Oliver lead them off. Towards the red lights. Lights go out now and they power away up towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Great start by Stuart Oliver from the outside the front row. The number 7 takes up the lead. Ryan Smith already through the middle. He's passed 3 of them by the time they get to Paddock Hill Bend. He's passed Yates, David Smith and Simon Cole. David Jenkins sideways. I thought he was going to spin it there coming off Paddock Hill Bend. He got a wheel onto the curb. He's still second. Michael Oliver into third ahead of Stephen Powell. Paul Rivett is down to 5th. And Ryan Smith alongside John Powell in the number 6, so he's already made his way up into 6th position. Tom O'Rourke has joined in from the pit lane, just caught a glimpse of him there at Druids in the background. So Stuart Oliver from David Jenkins, Michael Oliver, and a spin there, that's Simon Cole has lost it. Luckily nobody has hit him, he's onto the grass on the inside of Graham Hill Bend. He'll try and rejoin, he doesn't want to get bogged down in the grass though. Hopefully the Pink Panther can get going again. Ryan Smith a little bit out of shape there as they came through Surtees. He's ahead of Paul Rivett now, so he's up into 5th position. Goes out wide, looking for grip through clearways. Stuart Oliver and David Jenkins together at the front of the field. Now Ryan Smith moving towards the inside. They're almost side by side for 3rd place. As they go into... and off goes Stephen Powell into the barriers at Paddock Hill Bend. Well, it's so slippery out there, it was inevitable that there would be further incidents, and that will probably be another red flag. I don't think we'll see that with a full course yellow. Similar place to where he went off 12 months ago. We'll wait to see what the decision is. Stephen Powell is going out wide through Paddock Hill Bend there, straight on, and the red flag does come out. Now what's going to happen this time then? Just too slippery out there for them at the moment. So Stuart Oliver leads from David Jenkins, Michael Oliver, Ryan Smith up to P4. The outside line through Paddock Hill Bend did not work. And Stephen Powell sliding out wide into the tyre wall. Red flag out again. And we'll wait to see what the decision is this time. Looks like there hasn't been too much damage done to the tyre wall. That's a great shame for Stephen Powell. He's had such a good weekend with 2 Division 1 victories. He's out of the truck, he's okay. It's a big round of applause from the crowd. Thought he was going to climb onto the roof of his cab then for a moment. Stephen Powell just relaxing and waiting for recovery. Here it comes. Okay, and we'll be waiting decisions on what will happen here. So under the red flags at Brands Hatch in our final truck race of the day. With Stephen Powell having slid off into the gravel and into the tyre wall at Paddock Hill Bend. Let's have a look back at some highlights of this race so far. Stuart Oliver fighting his way up the inside of Tom O'Rourke for second on the initial start as David Jenkins took the early lead, but then the Reds came out as O'Rourke went into a spin into the gravel on the outside of the Brabham Straights. And then on the restarts, side by side into Paddock Hill Bend, didn't work in the damp conditions. Stephen Powell just going straight on, locks up through the gravel and walloped straight into the tyre wall. Thankfully, not a huge amount of damage done. And we'll wait to see if there will be a restart. We are going to get a restart, apparently. It will be another 10-minute restart, I've just been told via the timing screen. The Peterbilt being brought in this time to recover Stephen Powell's truck. Well, under the red flag once again here at Brands Hatch. Stephen Powell's truck being extracted from the gravel. We'll shortly be able to head down to Pointy in the pits for a further update.
Pointy, come on. Go on, Pointy, let me have this for a second because...
You can hold it.
Are you cursed or something? Are you cursed?
I mean, I think that's a stretch. I wouldn't go as far as cursed, but yes, I did speak to Simon Cole just before he crashed. But yeah, I mean, what can you say? These things happen. But you know, who should we curse on this one?
No, don't pick anything. Look, I mean, we had a great day yesterday. We have had one particularly good race today. It is motorsport. It does happen. And of course, we've got a wet track. The conditions have completely thrown things out, haven't they?
They have completely thrown things out. I mean, we started the day really well. I mean, they are getting back to somewhere useful now. I think for the last 2 races of the day, which you'll be covering, you know, the track will be lovely by then.
It's going to be great. I think the track action lot in assembly right now are delighted with this, actually, because it just gives the track an even better chance to dry off.
I think secretly what happened was they knew there was going to be a driver's sign-in and a grid walk. And they knew if they did anything wrong, there wouldn't be a grid walk. So I thought, okay, let's get together, let's behave ourselves for 3 races, no delays, no time penalties, have the grid walk, and then we can use all those red flags we've saved up all weekend in one go.
Well, look, let's talk about the British Truck Racing Championship in 2024. Of course, round 1 here at Brands Hatch. Where else are we going this year? Anybody watching this who's not in the south of England, hasn't been able to get to Brands Hatch, where can they maybe get trackside to watch it?
Well, there's some slight differences this year. We've got Pembury after this. Of course, we've got Thruxton, as always, Snetterton, big one at Donington again. However, special one this year, Le Mans. We are going to Le Mans, donning the ferries, getting over there. It's the Camion 24, which will be absolutely fantastic. They literally race, I mean, it's not 24 hours for obvious reasons. Yeah. They've got to have the taco break at some point, you know what I mean? But yeah, they are going to be racing in the dark, lights on. I've never been, I've heard so many things about it. It will be an experience for all the guys in the British to be over there in France.
Do you need somebody to come along and make the tea? Because I'm making me a cup of tea.
Yeah, I might be able to find a space, you know, somewhere in the cargo hold. Why not? Why not?
Now let's just talk Ryan Smith, of course, because he had a cracking day yesterday, didn't he? Today hasn't quite gone to plan for him, though, has it?
No, I mean, a few technical difficulties, really. I mean, we saw him struggle earlier on in this race, and the last race as well. He had an off, let's be honest. We were thinking, is he going to get back on there? He was bedded down in that grass. Luckily, managed to get going again for at least a finish, but not what he wanted to see. I mean, it has kind of gone a little bit downhill for Ryan Smith this weekend. Not the positions he's used to finishing in, that's for sure, but if I know Ryan, I'm sure he'll be back with a vengeance pretty soon.
I'll let you interview him and talk to him a little bit later then in the paddock.
Not before the race. I don't want to be responsible for that. I'm not
I mean, there's beautiful sunshine down here now. There is going to be a restart. It is going to be 10 minutes as well, so we are going to get the full 10 minutes again. We're going to get the full racing. We're going to get the result. It's what we want to see. Let's talk about Paul Rivette as well, Division 2 winner overall as well, beating the Div 1s. I saw your interview after. He was delighted. I think you were even more excited.
I think that's one thing I've certainly been labelled with now. I get as excited about a result as the driver. I think when you're around the guys like I am all year, you do really get invested in every team. I mean, I've got no favourites. I want all of them to go home with trophies because I want happiness for all of them, you know, and to see the driver's face as he comes from behind that crash curtain, smiling from ear to ear, and he's like, I did it, Pointy, I did it, and I'm like, yeah. So yeah, it's a great experience. It's an honour to be a part of it, it really is. But
it really is.
Yeah, great result, great result.
Well, the good news is we've been told to get off, so looks like we're about to go back racing again. Pointy, I'm going to give this to you. Thanks for letting me come on and have a chat with you.
Oh, thanks, it's been fantastic to chat to you too. We should do this again sometime. Cheers, bud. We can play some romantic music over that. Right, so we go back to Dave in the studio?
Let's do it.
Back to Dave in the studio.
Okay, thanks to Pointy and Ian down there. And we will be back underway as soon as the track, I think the track just about is clear up there. Great job by the marshals and the recovery crews. And the trucks are back on the grid. 9 of them are anyway. Pace truck leads them away. David Jenkins, Stuart Oliver, Paul Rivets, Michael Oliver, no Stephen Powell. Lost Simon Cole as well, haven't we, after that spin down at Graham Hill Bend. Tom O'Rourke has been able to rejoin at the back. So what's going to happen this time then? And Ryan Smith make his way through this time. Then a slightly reduced grid. It'll be a 10-minute restart once again. Let's hope they avoid the gravel this time. Great shame for Stephen Powell. He'd had such a brilliant weekend. David Jenkins pick up his first win of the season. Can Stuart Oliver pick up his first win? Can anyone stop flying right? Lining up alongside his namesake, David Smith. Keeping it steady up towards the line, waiting for the red lights to go out. Very steady at the moment. 9 trucks out there for 10 minutes of racing. Off they go. Power comes on. Side by side, Jenkins and Oliver. Oliver got the overlap at the previous start. He's just about got it this time, I think, but Jenkins is there on the inside. He hasn't quite got in front of him. Michael Oliver in 3rd place. And Stuart Oliver almost leans on Jenkins as they go up towards Druids. Jenkins will have the inside line for the right-hander, and he's got the lead. It's the MAN ahead of the Volvo. Michael Oliver 3rd. Side by side for 4th, Ryan Smith moving up on the outside, but Paul Rivets and John Powell trying to hold him off. Next behind them, David Smith side by side with Tom O'Rourke. Looks like Simon Cole has joined in from the pit lane, so we're back up to 10 trucks as they head through Graham Hill Bend. You can see how much things have dried out, but it is still very slippery out there on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. David Jenkins from Oliver. 3rd place, Michael Oliver, but he runs a little bit wide through there. Ryan Smith's got through past the Division 2 trucks, up into 4th place. John Powell dancing his way through Surtees there. O'Rourke is 7th. First half dozen breaking away now. The first 2 have broken away very slightly. Jenkins from Stuart Oliver. And a spin in the background. Who's that that's gone around? Nearly collected there as they come off the turn. Tom O'Rourke got caught up with somebody. I think it might be David Smith that's spun out there, the number 11. Yes, it is. He's getting going again. And Tom O'Rourke is, oh, he's slowing up again. He's just not having much luck this weekend as the Scotsman. Side by side for 3rd. Ryan Smith trying to go around the outside of Michael Oliver at Druids Hill Bend. Michael Oliver, you see, moving to cover there as they come down the hill, so he'll get the inside line away, but it matters not because Ryan Smith's already got past him as they reach the left-hander. He's up to 3rd. That setting sun might cause a few visibility problems here, I think, coming down the Cooper Straights. David Jenkins is sideways on the entry to Surtees there. It's trying to stay ahead of the Volvo, Stuart Oliver. Michael Oliver off onto the grass. Trying to keep Paul Rivette, the Division 2 leader, behind him. But Paul Rivette possibly not having things all his own way here, because look at the way John Powell is going. Up behind him in the number 6. Are we going to see a bit of a contest here in Division 2 for the first time, really, this weekend? Has Tom O'Rourke got back up to speed? He was very slow coming down the pit straight. No, he's parked up. There he is on the inside, out of the way. That's good driving by Tom O'Rourke to get the machine out of the way there and not cause another stoppage. Jenkins from Oliver, 1 second in it as they cross the line. But Ryan Smith is lurking behind them. The 3 big hitters of Division 1 together at the front of the field. 4th is Michael Oliver. He's got the 2 Division 2 trucks on his tail. Paul Rivette's got to be mindful that John Powell is there. John will want a victory. But now Paul Rivette pulls away. See how much quicker in the straight line the MAN is as Ryan Smith all over the back of Stuart Oliver. There's, I think that's one of his windscreen wipers has come adrift there. Look, flapping away at the side of the truck. That was not going to clean much. It's on the tail of Stuart Oliver, sliding back over to the inside. That's a great change of line by Ryan Smith, but Stuart is wise to it. Vastly experienced Northumbrian. He stays ahead of Flying Ryan. This is allowing David Jenkins to get away in front in the MAN. Now well clear of Michael Oliver now in 4th place. He's about 4 seconds back. Ryan Smith getting a bit sideways there. Still very slippery up Halewood Hill. Rivette still ahead of Powell, but only by half a second. And in 7th place is Simon Cole. He's running well ahead of Neil Yates. David Smith has rejoined after his spin. And Tom O'Rourke, of course, out of the race. Almost up alongside there, Ryan Smith as they came down Cooper Straights. Stuart Oliver driving a good defensive race here. His final race of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship on opening weekend at Brands Hatch. Oh, David Smith's gone off again. This time he's in the gravel. That's up at Druids. Now, can he get out of there? Meanwhile, Ryan Smith is going for 2nd place on the inside again. Stuart Oliver moving to cover. Nearly 3 seconds behind David Jenkins now. There'll be yellow flags out on the run up towards Druids. So the drivers can see that hazard. No overtaking through there, and I think the red flag's going to come out again. Now we were on 5 minutes and 2 seconds left to go. So what's going to happen this time? So what we're going to have happen this time then? Let's wait and see. Four laps had been completed. There's Tom O'Rourke. That's where he pulled over earlier on. And the timing screen saying that the session will not be restarted. But we'll await official confirmation on that from the officials. So that may be result declared, in which case it will be a win for David Jenkins. His first win of the season. And Paul Rivette will score a maximum this weekend in Division 2. So we believe the session will not be restarted. David Smith in the gravel at Druids. So provisionally the result is a win for David Jenkins by 2 3/4 seconds ahead of Stuart Oliver. Ryan Smith has to settle for 3rd, then Michael Oliver 4th. Paul Rivette 5th overall and takes a maximum in Division 2. John Powell in 2nd and Simon Cole 3rd. Then Neil Yates in 8th position. David Smith in the gravel. Tom O'Rourke out of the race. And Stephen Powell, of course, didn't take the restart. We'll hand down to Pointy in the pits in a moment, who can confirm what's going to happen next. 2 races to go here today at Brands Hatch.
Right then, here we are. Eventually got a result, but what a result it was. Where is he? Is he still in? For Dave Jenkins Can we get anywhere near him? It looks like the marshals are giving him some directions at the moment. I don't really know what's going on there. Oh dear. Oh dear. We've got a little bit of frayed tension here. Very awkward moment. Ryan Smith on the warpath here having some gentlemanly words with Dave Jenkins by the looks of it. Let's just not get that on film, shall we? Shall we not get that on film? So, a little bit of damage to the side of Dave Jenkins here. Oh, well, I mean, let's be honest. You've had 3 restarts. Oh, we're all right now. We can get in there. You can have Dave. Yeah, well, no. Right, so I still think it's probably best if we leave that for a minute. You can tell the tensions are high, a lot of testosterone in the air. Couple of restarts has obviously got people a little bit G'd up, to say the least. We had, of course, Stuart Oliver in second place, Ryan Smith in third as they crossed the line. Same result for 3 laps, which means even going back a lap with the red flag means it stays how it was effectively, so nothing too much to report there. Well done, Daisy, for being the diplomat there. Good job. Marshall's always on hand, not just for safety, but to cool some heads and keep things rolling. Has Stuart set off back? I believe he has. We'll wait for Alan to finish with Dave Jenkins, and then we can have a chat to him. Because I mean, what do you do in those situations, ladies and gentlemen? I didn't want to get involved in that. Hold on. It's going in for round 2. Let's just call this a day, I think. It's been an exciting afternoon, interesting finish, and I'm sure everything will come out in the wash. So thanks all for joining me down here in the pit lane. I'm going to head back and hand out some trophies. Whether they're happy with which ones they get or not, nobody knows, but we're going to do it anyway. Back to Dave in the studio, probably, unless you want to